Okay, we're on Kilayim Perek Daled Mishnah Tet. So until now we've been talking about how far apart must vines be in order for them to be considered connected and considered one kerem, one vineyard, so that you can't plant in between. So our Mishnah is a continuation of that idea. Okay, that even in a large kerem, if the vines are planted, the rows are planted far enough apart, then they're not considered like a unique united kerem. Says the Mishnah. Hanotet karmo al sheshesrei ama. Let's say you plant the rows 16 amot apart. Mutar lahavi zera lasham. You're allowed to plant there. So if you have a kerem, if you have a vineyard, here's your vineyard, and each row, you plant a row, and you plant a row, and then you plant another row. Again, in between each row is 16 amot. For whatever reason you decided to do that. Let's move these guys out. Okay. It doesn't seem to want to go away. Okay, whatever. Okay, so you plant for whatever reason, you plant every 16 amot. Okay, and you can see in my little measurement, there's 16 amot in between each one. Therefore, in the Mishnah says, Mutar la'avisham zera, and the Bartenura explains, you can bring zera. V'ein sarik lachi ela shishat tvachim min hashura, ka'avodat gefen yechidi. Then these, remember we said one row, according to Beit Hillel, is not considered a kerem. So therefore, if that's true, then all I have to do is have a separation of 6 amot, of 6 tvachim, really, really very close to each gefen. I only have to have a very tiny separate area, okay, for each gefen, and that's 6 tvachim, right, from separation, the distance between the gefanim. And then I can plant immediately samuch, I can plant anything I want over there. Because I'm not planting in a gefen, I'm planting in a field. The Mishnah continues. Amar Rabbi Yehuda says, Maaseh b'Tzalmon, the story about a story that happened in Tzalmon. Be'achad shenatar karmo, he planted his vineyard, al sheshesei amah. 16 amot, 16 amot. V'haya hofech se'ar shtei shirot letzad echad v'zorea tanir. Okay, so what he would do was he would turn, he would focus, he would push the se'ar, i.e. when he would plant the vineyards, he would push the growth to one direction and then plant the near, the empty side, the open side. V'haya v'shana acher, the next year, haya shofech et ha'se'ar lemakom acher v'zorea tabur. And he would turn it to the other side the next year and plant the bur, the other side, the unplanted side. So, for example, during one year, he would take the vines, okay, and then let's add an arrow. He would take the vines, okay, and he would take the vines and he would plant that way. Okay, and then what he would do was he would push all the vines that way, 1 year, okay, and then he would plant here, and then the next year he would take all the vines and push them the other way, okay, and then he would plant over here. So each year he would switch off the crops and plant on the other side. Bur is another word for unplanted area. And they said, great. Why? Because as we said, if you plant the rows 16 amot apart, then they're not considered like a vineyard, and you can plant in between, as long as there's the distance of shishat tvachim, like we said before. Rabbi Shimon said, karmo al shmone amot. Even if you don't do 16 amot apart, rather, if you plant your field 8 amot apart, if you plant in the vineyard, if there's more than 8 amot between each row, that's also considered enough, okay? Vemutar, and it's permitted. Okay, they felt that if you plant, even though normally if you had planted a vineyard, then you had an open space of 8 amot, that wasn't enough. If you initially planted your field 8 amot apart, that would be sufficient to consider the fields, the rows, separate enough apart that it's not part of a keren. Okay, we'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, as always, contact me at rspolter@gmail.com. Let's see if I can find it. There we go, rspolter@gmail.com. I'm dedicated to learning to the memory of my father, Harav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.